You haven't heard from me in quite a while, or if you're new, hello. And that's because we built GameTree as a gamer friend finding app, and it's been a freaking roller coaster. We've almost died a few times, and it's built a lot of shame in me. I feel like I've let down users, investors, business partners, team, and it's a lot of shame to carry, but the truth is that we finally figured out what we're supposed to be doing and how to reverse this problem of people being lonely, especially gamers, where young people, which is the core gaming demographic, are the loneliest people for the demographic for the first time in history. And the problem is just getting worse and worse despite efforts by our team to reverse this trend. And so I'm going to share a little bit about our journey, what it is that we've actually been building for the last 8 months that we're releasing, and where we're going next, and some really freaking cool vision of all the amazing stuff that we have planned. So buckle in if you want to hear these stories. There also is a little timestamps alone at the bottom that you can just go to wherever you want. So starting this company was originally because, like, initiating it as an adult, I moved to a new city, didn't know anybody, would go to work, go home, be lonely, play games online by myself, and I was doing the right stuff in life, but I found I was just really depressed and often felt even worse playing games with just toxic people and stuff. Whereas before, I played with friends a lot more. I either made most of my friends through gaming or at least cemented relationships through gaming. But after moving and getting older, it just wasn't the same. And I realized eventually that the problem was instant queue matching. It was easier to just click a button and play with strangers, whereas before you kind of had to play with friends, or you found a server like in Counter-Strike where you'd get to know people or you like the vibe and you go back to the same community. And so the infrastructure of society's changed, but even more so the infrastructure of gaming itself has changed, and this isn't something that anybody's really talked about anywhere. But over time, the short-term quick dopamine, which is a great innovation within gaming, has made our social lives worse. And so, wanting to look into finding gamer friends, I didn't find any good tools or ways to do that. So I was thinking about quitting gaming, but I love gaming so much that I was like, you know what? Why not just try to solve this problem myself? And that was the initiation of GameTree. I moved to San Francisco because that's just the place to do tech startups, especially at the time. And it turned out to actually be one of the worst places to start a tech company. It's expensive to live, it's hard to recruit people, it's hard to get early users. So I ended up moving to Ukraine. Great idea. And actually it was.
Is it a good shit?
The first versions of the product sucked.
Fatality!
But we basically built something that started to naturally grow around the world eventually, listening to user feedback and making the app better. And what I found then was that even though we got traction, it was hard to raise funding. And so eventually came back to California for that. We were doing really well fundraising. The world's biggest gaming news network reached out wanting to buy the company. It was turning into a huge partnership. They paid us to not talk to other investors. And then COVID hit, and that basically killed the deal. And instead of taking off, especially when the world especially needed GameTree, we had to fire everybody. I was like in my mom's basement, living in mold, like the world just collapsed around me, had to fire everybody. COVID lifts, went back to Ukraine, building things up again, and then this time the war breaks out, and that just wiped the table again. Everybody's running from invaders, back in huge credit card debt, no income. The company's basically crumbled. Pick it back up again, come back to California, and actually raise legit venture funding, and scale up GameTree more, and eventually realize that it actually isn't the best business model, because while it's very successful at helping people find each other, and a lot of people have even gotten married through the platform, and we've had 1.8 million signups with almost no marketing, the truth is that it's just not a good business model, and it's unfortunate. But people meet very efficiently, and then they go to Discord, and they don't need the app anymore. We had some other investors we brought in who also offered a grant that we were relying on while rebuilding the tech that went stale through all of this. If you remember, it started to get buggy and slow and stuff, so we had to rebuild everything because we weren't able to maintain the code through all these roller coasters. And the grant we were relying on that we did all the work for, built a login system for, that basically tanked our metrics and was buggy because we were the guinea pigs, that didn't work out. And so not only did our metrics get tanked, but they declared bankruptcy and we lost all of the money that we were expecting to have and were unable to raise more. So basically had to reset again. But that's at the rock bottom where I realized the thing that we were supposed to be doing. And that is actually just moving towards Discord more. People hang out on Discord, so we should be on Discord more. I didn't want to face it because it's just such a massive amount of work to redesign and rebuild all these systems that took like thousands of hours to make. But it's actually the right move, and usually it's only when we're at rock bottom that we can see the right way to do things or are willing to do things differently. In this case, is kind of a blessing. We'll see how this rolls out, but I'm pretty confident that this is the thing we were supposed to do. We tried doing LFG before in GameTree because we realized that that's actually very important, where people can coordinate game sessions looking for group. But it didn't work out that well because people still have to like go to Discord and be like, what's your username? And then like create a server and everybody joins the call. And then like, it's just like kind of a huge pain in the ass. But doing it through Discord and this thing that we developed is really the path that we should have been doing all along. And essentially it's Scout bot. Scout is an LFG bot that basically makes it as easy to play with friends as it is to just click a button. And it's actually that easy dopamine that created this loneliness crisis mostly in the first place. So the best way to solve it is actually just to make it so easy to play with friends, communities, people you'll like, that rebuilds the tribes and recreates the social. I think that's the real starting point because the crux of gaming is the gaming itself. And it's just more fun and more meaningful doing it with people you like and who matter. It memorializes your stories, you learn, you grow, you actually do better. And so my hope is that we can make a world where everybody can just play with friends all the time, and it's just so much better. So Scoutbot basically is just like a single button when you launch a game, and it asks you, do you want to play with friends, a community, people you're predicted to like. You click a button, and then it just invites your friends or the community, people you're predicted to like, and puts you all on a call together in a single click. You can also schedule in advance. There's a lot of notification controls because the current problem with LFG and Discord is that you just get all these like @roll tags that you just unsubscribe. And with this, it's like personalized invites, and you can control like, I don't want invites for this game or at this time of day or from this person, or I want to snooze these. And you just have like basically just very curated messages too, where it's somebody that plays the same game as you that you're predicted to like, or is actually your friend. And again, you can control like, do you want just friends to see it? This also integrates with GameTree because we've created millions of connections between gamers. I've personally spent 13,000 hours in personality psychology. We look at people's personalities, tastes, values, play styles, and know who gets along well. And we have this very unique data set that underlines a lot of the matching algorithm. But I also view a lot of the main use case being just playing with your friends. You don't even want to play with strangers, but just making it faster and easier to play with the people you like and want to play with anyways. So that's Scoutbot. Right now it's just in the GameTree, and we're at this moment rolling it out to cross servers, so it can help develop communities, help people discover communities that the sessions can be hosted in who are predicted to get along with the groups playing. And ideally this just becomes a nice ecosystem where it's better to play, with a good group than sometimes just roll the dice and get toxic or horrible teammates. And also just build relationships and naturally, organically resurface relationships. That Steam list of people who you don't even remember who they are anymore, but used to matter. Same with Discord, just add them in GameTree. The supporting apps, you can do matchmaking to build out a friends list or find specific people with deep curation. You can also have like a really beautiful profile. So you actually have kind of like your little resume for gaming, where you can share like highlights, your favorite stories, funny stuff, to actually have like a cool like spot. But also if you get an LFG invite, it's like, oh, do I actually want to play with this person? Do I want to like hang out with them? So that's basically the system. The future of GameTree, this is where things can get really interesting and exciting. If this LFG system works, it's the kind of thing that could scale pretty well. It's a nice tool. We even publish the company as a public benefit corporation, meaning that we're not legally required to maximize profit, because what's happening in the world now is all the companies eventually become inshittified or shitty. And it's because they're just trying to maximize profit and they're legally required to. GameTree, we can make like 80 or 90% as much money and not be assholes, and that's just a better way to live and a better way to build a good product. We might do equity crowdfunding as well, has been a dream from the beginning, is to have it owned by the community, and that'll, I think, make us a lot closer and tighter and a lot deeper feedback loops in building the product that gamers actually really want. If the LFG system's working out really well, then what would be interesting is to make more ways to stay in touch out of game, because you don't really want to post about gaming, at least I don't, on like Instagram and Facebook and stuff, because it's just kind of weird, because most of the people I know aren't necessarily gamers or playing the same game. What would be really cool is, like, as I want to talk about gaming all the time, is just be able to like tag a game and just have all my relevant friends and community see it. Discord's a challenge because while it's a great chat app, it's more like a beehive rather than you being in the center of your own tribe, where you have to like go to different rooms, things get buried. There isn't like this sort of like smart system, like in like an organic offline non-digital way would have. Speaking of which, also more support for tabletop games. As we scale, it becomes easier and easier to help people find like other people, like if you want an extra player for your group, or it's a Friday night and you want to do something besides drink and know that you're going to like the group. A way to like play games easier. Our research has shown people want to play 2.5 times more tabletop than they're playing now, so we can really enable that. More kind of social networking stuff, but not in like a lame way. You can actually control like, do I want like content or do I want like updates from friends, and like how much of each you want. Also having like a gamer identity. We could do identity verification, partner with other services that find out if people are like child molesters or like hacking in other systems and they get flagged. And then in GameTree, you could be like, oh, I only want to be in communities that are verified, or in game sessions that are verified, or like, I want to know how much I can trust this person. And then that being also able to be linked to your personal data. And then if you want to share that with other places, you can have very customized experiences around the web. Through some sort of like universal login system. So these are all just ideas of the kinds of things that GameTree can do. If we just do LFG well, that's amazing. But also I think gaming needs a better social hub and some better discoverability tools and stuff like that. And I think GameTree is the best system to deliver that. So now you know the plan. If you've been here before, welcome back, and thank you for sticking with us and checking this out again. We've been purposely not poking you because until we had an ecosystem in place, we're trying not to bother people and annoy you. Like, we haven't been sending emails and push notifications and stuff because it's understood that the main value of the product is find friends and then you're good to go. But now we have a lot more to offer, and so this is the time to finally share. It's a little scary for me just because of feeling like I haven't delivered as well on the promises of what we're trying to build as I could, but I think this is the thing that we needed all the time, and it's time to share it. If you're new here, I hope you find your tribe, and not just find your tribe, but actually be with your tribe and spend time with them and develop the relationships that we introduce, and that you have a lot of fun and happy times ahead of you. See you next time.